or too late.
Well, pretty much exactly a minute at this
The
point.
or
Say
two.
2 minutes.
The or two part kicks in.
Eh,
Fortunately, unfortunately.
look, it's a brand recognition thing, okay?
It's what we're known for, is
Yeah,
constantly being 2 minutes late for our own
yeah,
show.
that's what I'm saying. It's like literally word for word what I'm trying to say.
It's awful. It's a terrible takeaway.
On brand.
Oh, we should start reminding people that, hey guys, if you're tuning in for not the live stream, but in fact the recording that has gone up after the fact, skip ahead 15 minutes and then we're actually going to get started. We're just waiting for people to roll into the live chat.
Cool. Cool things. Cool things.
The old preamble.
Well, you know, someone's got a preamble.
Preambling something. What was that spiny shark thing you were talking about? I kind of want to look up pictures now while we're waiting for people.
Spiny dogfish from Civivi.
Not the actual shark itself.
I assume not.
It's a manual thumb knife, huh? Hold up, that... okay, it doesn't quite look like that slip joint they did. Where we thought it was a liner lock initially. That's a weird looking thing. I'll bring up a picture.
Oh, you weren't doing that? What the hell, man? I was sitting there waiting for a picture of it to come up because we were chatting about it.
That's what I'm doing. Well, don't you worry.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. I looked at it.
The old spiny dogfish. It's
that
it's got a great name. That's all I'm saying.
That looks like it has the potential to be comfortable in the hand.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll say right now that
that's weird.
1428 Sandvik doesn't quite have the same pull on price point anymore as much as it used to compared to things like D2. And when you're looking at the $68, $69 price point, when you throw 14C28 or you throw D2 at there, it's an easier, I hate to say it, it's an easier sell with D2. It's not necessarily the right answer. It's just an easier sell.
Yeah. More universal.
Keep in mind, though, Civivi's got to price themselves up so that they can more easily sell, is it Sencut, right? As far as entry-level pricing goes?
Yeah, but then you're working with the 9 CRs for a lot of the Sencut stuff.
But they still do some 14C. They don't have very good brand delineation yet between Sencut and Civivi, I think.
Yeah, way more so the Wii and Civivi line.
Yeah. Like yeah. Lately, Wii's been leaning into the fancy stuff hard, which is good, but yeah.
And yeah, I think you're right, Infinite. $70 for 14C does sound okay to me. But I think this was not in the initial incoming offerings for Wii and Civivi. That Cutting Edge has come in their way down the pipes. Multiple pipes. Oh.
It's worse CAD or USD?
That would probably be CAD or USD, sorry.
That price is USD. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't have the fancy, it looks like you're in Canada button because they don't give a shit. But, well, they might. They might give a shit a little bit. But
we're 10% of the state's population, so they give 10% of a shit. Is that basically what it is?
Give or take.
I will say D2 is definitely more universally liked, but 14C does have a fairly decent fan base as well.
I do think 14C is a better choice for most people over D2, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Just I mean, all the ship jumpers from Kershaw got to go somewhere, right? So.
Look,
I can only buy so many leaks.
Yeah, pretty much.
And blurs.
And I mean, not saying that they didn't have a couple models that weren't worth looking at, but I'm sure we'll get to those eventually too. And there'll probably be some surprises and some that's exactly what I expected is. That's a thing. So yeah.
Indeed.
All right. We got 8 minutes to get through our daily carries, so we should probably get on that bandwagon.
Not
Just
a
a
bad
quick
call.
shout out to Stanson 357. He's rocking his swordfish today.
Speaking of D2.
I mean, you probably should put your swordfish away after cutting some cardboard. It's
Sounds like it chafes.
No. I'm just going to show you what I'm carrying and not address that at all.
It's underwater. It's fine. It's a swordfish.
Water isn't lube. Anyway. To go with the theme for the day, talking about CRKTs, I've been carrying a CRKT. My crossbow is an M390. This thing's still fun. It's still really thick behind the edge, but it's got a good edge on it right now. So
you should regrind Scandy that thing. Seriously.
Honestly, this with a zero grind would be fucking scary. That'd be awesome.
You're not going to use it hard, so why not?
Do it up.
Thinking about it. Maybe I'll
Get
try my Oz 8 version first, see how that goes.
Dare you.
That's gonna roll instantly. Come on, it's just a waste. That's a waste of a cheap crossbow.
There's no such thing as wasting a cheap crossbow.
It's all.
It was a waste to begin with. Nah, it's almost a waste to begin with.
Ben in chat. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, we are back this week. Paul, what you rocking, brother?
So, this is weird. I'm also rocking a CRKT today with the Rizal Compact.
You've been liking that
all
guy.
All right. Yeah.
It's a good neck knife. Full stop. It's just good.
Still weirds me out that the flats of those serrations are not sharp. But you've mentioned to me a number of times how well it still manages to work, so
I would have preferred them sharp, but as far as like cutting small cordage and stuff like that, it just concentrates and it just pops through super easily.
Does that weird you out more than the fact that he hasn't taken the clip off of it yet still has never rocked it in the pocket?
I wore it the first day in the pocket.
Only because you didn't. I was just gonna say only because you didn't have the paracord to wrap a necklace.
It wasn't the proper lanyard yet on it. As soon as he got his own lanyard on it, he's like, okay.
But my intention, you jerks, is that I can intentionally wrap this around and still wear it in the pocket if I want to. Or wear it as a neck knife. Like I can see myself specifically wearing it as a neck knife to, say, camp in the summer, set up camp with it around my neck, and then take it off my neck and put it clipped to the inside of my like cargo pocket.
Yeah.
That's a true story. Yeah.
So I put up with the fact that sometimes you end up with a knife hanging out of your beard by a clip.
Well,
We'll grab it.
Going to mention that you said it was getting almost long enough to completely conceal, so I'm sure that was becoming a factor, right? Like, that's got to feel great for sure.
Yeah,
it does not. Do not recommend.
And you're getting bold there with your shots, I gotta say. It's
yeah.
You're getting brave. You're gonna get a little too brave. It's gonna be like that. What is it? Seal, pigeon, magpie that just gets a little too close to the road. It's
Just make sure you clean your knives before you apply the stuff there to make sure it doesn't lose adhesion.
Oh, trust me, I make sure that it is well applied, and then I test it before I even put it outside.
That's for the best, yeah.
Keep it warm so it doesn't get too stiff in the cold weather. But this actually I was more worried when I was taking it up that I was going to drop it because it was sticking to the lip there so much.
Right.
That's where you're going to lose it, is on the fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming undone.
Luckily, this one does have a lanyard, so I was actually holding that as I was pulling it up too,
Giving
for a
you some
little bit of
extra
extra.
leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way that can go wrong.
Loop your pinky through the open part. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Good to see you're still carrying it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool. I got 3 minutes for me, so that's enough. So this week, I'm actually not carrying anything. So, week after week after week, we are showing off things, carrying things, showing off the fun things in our collection. Yep. But for this week, this one is a little more serious. We weren't with us last week. So for this week, I'm just dedicating it to my fiance's grandfather. So that's my carry for this week. Oberto Martins. Loved the Coronas. So
cheers to that.
You bet. Yeah, it's been a hard one for all of us. So
yeah, cheers.
So short and sweet. I didn't need to get into it because I'll probably start breaking up and crying about the whole damn thing. Because I'm a big softie too when it comes to that stuff. So cheers. Regardless of. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And as far as the shirt goes, because I think Infinite is throwing up the. I'm not sure, but either way, the fiance got it for me from Mexico with the pineapple shirt. But yeah,
all my bananas turned brown. Indeed, his bananas are brown.
Yeah, I see that.
So anyway,
that's right. Banana bread.
Continue on. Yeah.
Well,
on that note, 15 minutes. I think we got it close to this time.
Just about.
We're like a minute there.
Yeah.
Lemmy, thanks for joining the chat for sure. What is everyone carrying? I think a couple people threw out what they were rocking. Swordfishes, so on and so forth.
Swordfishes.
Swordfishes are fun. Yeah, I think it was just the one person who said what they were carrying. It was just a swordfish.
Too late. It's been 15 minutes. We gotta go.
Yeah, it's too late. Too little, too late.
You don't need to besmirch a Corona with lime. That's a summertime thing, and if you've looked outside the last little while, Ben, come on, we still live in Canada. So the limes will come out when it's outside season.
No scurvy here yet.
No, I'm doing okay. No. I got pineapples to save me.
There you go.
Awful.
It's not awful. It's delicious. Have you had one?
I do love pineapples. All right. We got a Bamboozled to talk about. We got a Squid Compact, not a XS.
It should have really been an XS.
Their naming conventions for their knives have been wrong for many years. This is just another example.
I don't know. It seems like we just can pick out the missed opportunities because we're good like that. But I bet you on the pressure of getting all of these things released, things get overlooked. And you're back to, and you're like, damn, all right, too late. Like,
but like 90% of what the guys at CRKT do is marketing, right? So it's
my problem is the name that I want for it, that Squid XS. I want it spelled excess, like excessively.
See, I was going to say they should have the XS, like 2 letters, and that would be this guy. Then they would have the XS spelt like the word excessive, but that would be like a 4.5-inch bladed version.
It's a tie light.
Pretty much.
Okay, listen here and your squid family that's already too goddamn big. Let's reel this back a little bit. And point out the unnecessary size ratio for the dragonfly, but not really, because actually the Squid Compact comes into play. Bamboozled, not so much. It's a little more relevant for the Bamboozled, but yeah. So
it still gives you a good size reference.
Yeah,
as far as how
it always does. It always does. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
If you can imagine a large sized hand gets a full grip on a dragonfly, you can see that you're probably in a 3-finger grip range for most people with larger hands, or at least wider hands. It's a short, stubby little guy. Working with 8CR blade steel on this one, unlike the XM, which was the D2. The Bamboozled is using D2 though, so these are a little bit different on the price points, comparatively speaking, but
do we want to dive into one and or the other? I got either one. I think we should dive into the Bamboozled myself.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. I had a collection of photos.
Mainly because I think there's more good things to say about the Bamboozled.
Probably true.
Theoretically, here's a picture of the Bamboozled in Dennis's hand.
My mitt. It's my mitt. Long, skinny fingers. So my rule of thumb, and I was telling Paul, my rule of thumb from now on is when it's a 4-finger grip knife for myself, at least, I'm going to wrap all 4 digits around it. Yeah, that's right. If it's a smaller knife like the Squid Compact and you can show a size comparison, I might show it a little more open palm to see where it fills out my own individual palm. So,
okay.
So on and so forth. Yeah.
We might see evidence of that tonight.
Yeah, you probably will. Yeah. So trying to go with continuity and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Absolutely. Again, another good size reference.
This very nice in hand. As far as actual specs goes, 7.8 overall. Blade length is 3.34. So, yeah,
it's a good size.
3.5-inch blade, 8-inch
These are stainless steel bolsters, not aluminum bolsters, right?
Stainless steel bolsters, G10. Yeah. IKBS. With the assisted, as they've been rocking lately.
And this one's D2, 12C?
D2.
Okay.
D2.
Okay.
Yeah. 75 American dollars on their website. Brokerage fees may or may not be a bitch to get into polar bear countries. So anyway, well, that's all I want to say on that boy. $75 is not bad off their website. I will say that for D2, IKBS, ball bearing, blah, blah, blah. The price point is reasonable for what you're getting. Yeah.
And as we'll see, I'm sure, in more pictures to come, but the rounding on the handle is intentional, functional, and comfortable. This is something where they clearly put a little bit of effort into, and it does show, which is nice.
Well, as one of the Blade HQ reps called him, Kenny Jr.,
Kenny Jr.
had to come out with a bang. With something that's got to get attention, and like classic design, but well made. A lot of people that I've showed this to is like, damn, this is a nice knife. And I'm like, yeah, what's new about it? Not much. It's a little taken from here, little taken from here, little taken from here. Well done. So, yeah.
So, is it Ken Onion Jr. or is it, what's his name?
Ken Onion.
Is it?
Yeah. Or Kenny, as Blade HQ reps like to call him.
It does say designed by Kenny Onion.
There you go.
On the website here.
Oh, it does say Kenny Onion.
For his first knife, Ken Onion Jr. designed and refined a folder that blurs the lines between classic and modern. Yeah, and I think that's also a good way to summarize this knife.
Anything I can rip apart in the description? It looks pretty good. Yeah. No, that looks pretty good. Oh, they're pretty toned down on the description on his. Yeah. Utility, G10 assisted. His father's speed safe, little nod to that bad boy. They're ready to go. Doesn't say anything about whose IKBS system it is, but definitely pointed out the fact that the speed safe came from.
It's in the name. Don't you worry about it.
It's definitely in the name. It's that Eye. Good old eye.
Indeed.
Pretty neat.
Anyway.
So oversized pivot screw on the show side, and I believe matching on the reverse. Just tooled with a T8, I think. T6 for the body.
Correct, sir.
Sounds right.
We've been talking about the pocket clips on CRKTs recently and how much they don't suck ass occasionally.
Except for left-handed again.
Except
assholes.
for, yeah, that was the other thing, was this guy... Yeah, that is incorrect. So the implementation of the pocket clip is great, but they limit it to the one side. This is something that, with certain designs, you're just going to have to put up with, i.e., something like their old Kiss models where the blade goes, like there's no scale on the one side, so there's nowhere to put the clip. But I'm getting a little bit tired of seeing just the one side on CRKTs.
No, figure it out on the Kiss, too. Put it on the blade. I don't care.
Put it in the blade. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you guys deserve that.
You know, I'm not going to spend
You
any time
guys
thinking
deserve-
about that.
It's like the wire that cuts the slice of bread and exactly... Anyway.
It's just awful.
I like in this picture how they recess the screws on the pocket clip, but then that one on the body still seems to be raised a little bit. Now it's rounded. I get it. Joe's about to bitch and
It's
justify and
but
defend.
It's also a little bit. It's not like this is the scale and then the screws on top. It is submerged a little bit in the countersunk hole.
Mm-hmm.
So it's.
I will say, I don't know if you guys pocketed this thing, but
yeah,
Jesus Christ, a pocket's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a slim
really
little broomstick. Yeah.
It was really good. Every time, like, there was no finding the pocket clip and then putting it away. You just put it in your pocket and it would figure itself out.
I know that some people like to complain about bills and swoops on pocket clips. I don't think this is a model that really warrants that kind of complaint. The end of that tail on the pocket clip doesn't really come up any higher than the I guess the part where the seamier pocket actually ends up at the very top there.
Yep.
I didn't have any problems.
Oh, and I was going to say, and as much as I bitch and moan about right-hand only carry, the realistic part of it is as far as a actual like ergonomic goes. I don't know if you guys have played with, like, yeah, it feels weird, but
it feels good.
It feels different, but as soon as you get it in your hand, you're like, there's no hot spot because it's not on the inside of your palm. It's on the outside where you're wrapping your fingers around, right? So
I want to say my Spyderco Smock in particular is like ludicrously comfortable in the left hand with the pocket on the right hand side.
It's funny you mentioned the Smock.
Pisses me off.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was funny that he mentioned ludicrous, but it's...
well, that's it. No, funny you mentioned the Smock because I literally have my clip on the left-hand side of my Smock because it feels better.
That's too
my
funny.
Back pocket carry it. I have my what's it called? The H&K assist or access. That guy.
Yeah.
And my bailout all set lefty for back pocket carry. Because the clip is more comfortable on that side. Just full stop.
That's fair.
Yeah. I've got one on each side for Contigos just because you need to dual wield. But anyway, we're off track.
Given that this is assisted, I probably wouldn't stick it in my left pocket if I were a left-handed person. There's always that fear of bumping the flipper tab and having that thing stab you in the thigh or in other regions. Just doesn't seem like a good call.
Having said that, though, did we get a decent picture? I don't think I did of the flipper tab. I might have. It might be in the picture I sent you. I don't think it is because I was actually highlighting something else. But
oh well. Let me see.
When open or closed up, Dennis?
Closed. Really non-obtrusive. Like
Did get
it's
this photo. Yeah. This
not
is
quite gun hammery, but it's not far off of being gun hammery either.
White gun hammery the same. The way this is kind of let's just use the wall. The way that's kind of gun hammery.
Similar to, yeah.
But yes, it is quite comfortable. And because it is assisted, you really aren't relying on the hook of the flipper tab in order to catch your finger in the same way that you might with a different type of design. once the
Yeah.
spring catches, this thing just goes.
And
Opening
I
is
honestly
very
think
consistent.
this flipper wouldn't work on a normal IKBS system. I think you'd get a lot of partial flips unless you really dialed in that D10
They
and
would,
got it loaded up, and then you'd
yeah.
probably get some slipping on the back because it doesn't quite have the texture. So it's got that happy medium of not being aggressive on your finger, but being kind of like, I don't know, cheaty enough for the spring to take over, even on a maybe weak deployment, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is ball bearing as well as
Yep.
spring,
Yeah,
right?
that's their jam. They did that on the Squid Compact too, just because, why not, right? So,
Yeah. I just mean it gives you a softer spring. It doesn't need to be quite as powerful.
Yeah, it's not like the ZT350 or something where it needs to be just a beefy spring in order to get that job done.
That's it.
Yeah. So reliable opener. Which is good because there's not really a lot of, and I don't really mean this as a gripe necessarily, but there's not a lot of curvature to the handle on this thing. It's a really straightforward, like pun intended there a little bit, very straightforward handle. So I'm not going to call it slippery, but if you had to put in a lot of pressure to the flipper in order to deploy it, that's one thing that it's kind of a compromise with the Voking knives T04, I think, that I have. Because if I'm not holding this thing correctly, with my thumb planted in that milling groove, I've had this thing nearly slip out of my hands before.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he was definitely going for that old school kind of Barlow.
Yeah. That's
vibe.
the point I was gonna dabble on as well. Is that was the inspired part of it, was classic Barlowy, straightforward. Yeah.
Definitely a deviation from a Barlow style knife blade, but
I ain't here for your fancy buck 110 with the finger grooves.
Yeah.
Even the front and the back sweep on a buck 110 is a little flashy for my likings compared to this one, right? Like, it's, so. Now, one other thing I got to point out, I did have a close-up picture that I had of the bolster as well.
Was that in here, I think?
But it's not actually the bolster I have a close-up of.
Is it the liner, that close-up picture?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So, very interesting in the style of texture that they chose to do on this particular jimping. I don't know if they've coined or trademarked the term zipper jimping, but I think they should.
It looks zipper jimp.
What's that?
I said it looks highly effective.
Okay, and you would think aggressive, but not at all. Like, I actually tried. That was something I noticed on it. It was just like, wow, those are really sawtoothy. And then I actually tried to put my finger in, like, left, right, up, down, blah, 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 to see if I could, like, zipper and, like, get it to rub the wrong way, unzip, type of thing, right?
Right.
And it's zimping, I think, is something completely different, Dick Richards. I don't know. You might have to look into that.
Safe search, please.
Safe search, not on this channel.
You knew what you signed up for.
Oh, but yeah, either way.
Terribly.
This isn't quite what I was thinking. I was looking for a different knife, but that's okay.
I want more of this, is what I'm really kind of getting at.
Yeah.
That's completely fair.
So it's
clean.
Enough to grab your thumb, but not enough to tear it up.
Perfect texture on it, as far as, and then not as far as ergos and like feeling chewy and finding that fine line between cutouts and blah blah blah. The cutout on this thing is so minimal to get to that liner, and it's just like the perfect amount of zipper to get the job done, right? Like, it's
There's no Gail Bradley to this knife.
I was just gonna say I probably should have thought to take some photos of that knife before I sold mine, but there's just for a comparison. But there's enough access there for sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you disassembled the Gale Bradley, you could use that cutout like you do Paul's Razel with the VEF serrations. I think it would work in a very similar fashion.
It's pretty dimpled. It's not too bad.
The scraper is fantastic. That's all I'm saying. It works so good.
Not to the same degree of cut, but they have kind of a dimpled lock bar on the shallotl. Kind of focuses, not really. These aren't quite as deep cut, but even this adds a surprising amount of traction to the thumb without actually being too bitey. But whereas this is a design where the lock bar extends past the frame of the knife, I guess you can see it better on the lock bar side there. I prefer having a little bit of a cutout with this kind of texture, just as when you have your finger wrapped in front, you don't feel like you're going to rotate this closed by accident.
Yeah, when you're twisting.
Yes, as you're, as you do.
As one does with the Pokey factor.
Yeah.
How else would I cut circles?
Well, I'm thinking specifically about guys trying to do cuts where they peel up off of a thing. That could be a situation, especially if you're right-handed with a liner lock. I've had it happen where if I'm not watching what I'm doing and I'm bracing the back of the blade, where I've gotten the knife to pop. Usually there's a flipper tab in the way, or my hand is positioned in a way where it wasn't really at risk, but I don't know. I like not having my pocket knives accidentally come undone when I'm in the middle of cutting stuff. It's just, just
the
a bit
old
of personal quirk there, but
it's the old carve, peel, and pop. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever had it happen to me.
No.
Now that I'm thinking about it. No.
It's been years since it's last happened to me, but I can remember a few specific times.
Which part, the peel or the pop?
Yes.
You got to say it all in one word. Peel and pop.
I refuse. Instead, I'm going to talk about the nice
Yeah.
contouring here on the blade tang of this thing. So it's I believe this is an internal stop pin. This is something that more and more knife companies are doing. I love to see it. This kind of rounding where it follows the outside of the handle, it's tasteful. It looks good. It's a small quality of life thing, but it's just nice. It's just nice to see. Also, less access for crud, and debris to get into the ball bearing action on this thing. So that's nice. Did this? Please don't ever touch it. Does this? Follow-up question, because I don't think I took photos of the inside. Does anyone know if the liners are skeletonized on this thing?
I think they are. I think I remember looking.
I think there's some mild skeletonization, but they haven't gone to town. As far as weight goes, 3.7 ounce. Okay. So, I mean, with a 3.5-inch blade, 3.7 ounce, it's not crazy heavy with steel liners, but steel bolster, I'm guessing probably it's got to have at least one or two cutouts in those liners. But no, none of us looked. First impressions right there for you.
I'm pretty sure I did look. And I'm pretty sure it's round circles on the inside.
Enough.
I'm going to discredit Paul's answer. That's fine.
That's completely fair, because I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Any other features?
For a week, I might have known.
That's fair. Any other features you guys want to highlight or discuss on this thing?
Well, in this same picture, not only the contouring on the tang, but also the chamfering on the sides, like as well as the rounding.
Yes.
But chamfered all the way around. Like they're listening to people about seismic sharp edges and being like, hey, that's Pokey. Like, no, really, that's Pokey. Stop doing that. And they stopped doing that. They like really successfully stopped doing that this year on a lot of models, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, people might say, oh, you're just tumbling to hide machining marks and this and that and the other thing. But a combination of chamfering and tumbling it's a great thing.
Yeah, why not?
And I'll tell you, just tumbling stuff doesn't really hide your mistakes. In fact, it tends to show your mistakes really, really clearly. Ask me how I know. But it's just nice to see that even with materials like this, they're willing to go that extra step. And in a world of super flat handle materials, I'm happy to see that even at this price point, they're doing work like this.
Then there is some 3D contouring, ever so slightly.
Mm. And it doesn't take much, really. But to have this amount, it feels a lot better than it otherwise would have. Like if this was just flat slab bolsters, or no, even if it was just flat G10, it wouldn't be nearly as comfortable in hand. It just wouldn't.
Yeah. True facts.
Gonna say, like, pretty much all of these photos, you can see some level of shading to indicate the lighting just hitting that curved surface. It's
This is a good photo. I like that one.
which one? The
one with the jimps.
Oh, with the jumps. Yeah, that's a good one. The super high highlights.
Little more zipper jump. Yeah.
This one was confusing at first because you managed to catch the reflection of the jimping in the liner face as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought only the liner, the liner lock itself was jimped. I didn't think the axis part, like the axis area, was jimped. It's not. It's just fancy photography.
I do it again. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. So yeah.
Sometimes it do be like that.
Oh God,
It do be.
Sometimes it do be.
All right, Squid Compact. Is that what we're gonna say?
I think so. Yeah.
I think we're there.
Let me go back to our size comparison here, where I clean out the other pictures. Yeah. So the Squid Compact, we there wasn't really a lot of negative things to say about the Bamboozled. It's not because we intentionally paired it with something that none of us liked. That wasn't the plan at all. It just
Stanson, yeah, 75 American on their website. I briefly mentioned that brokerage fees to Polar Bear Land are a bitch, so we didn't quite get full conversion on that one. We would have liked to, but anyway, yeah, good times. 75 on their website. Check local dealers for local pricing, international, so on and so forth. Hey, go.
Terrible.
Hey, that summed up everything I needed to sum up. Come on.
I guess.
In the worst way possible.
Yeah, a little bit. Fuck.
Hey, we got to stay on brand.
Well.
All right. Squid of the Squidderies.
So this is a substantially cheaper knife. We should probably start there.
Don't tell me where to start. $32 American on their website.
Thank you. I had that page and I had lost it. HCR. What's the blade length on this guy? It's
HCR 13 1.75, 1 3/4.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a small knife. When they say compact,
44 millimeters, 44.4 millimeters, so sub 6 centimeter for the domestic flight of international said travel.
Not so much international, but
I was just gonna say, like,
the exact opposite of that.
Well,
the domestic international, same thing.
Yeah.
I am.
So
stop talking now.
in this knife's defense, before we go too far, they very much bill it as an affordable knife that anyone can carry. I think that's actually the phrasing that they use on their listing. Yes, this affordable folding knife is an everyday carry for everybody. Sure, if you're okay with small knives. Here's an in-hand shot from Dennis. So calling it a 3-finger grip may actually have been hasty. In Dennis's hands, it looks like you may get a comfortable 2.5-finger grip.
It's pushing it.
Grip.
Yeah.
It's a little small.
I was doing shadow puppetry, and that is my dog impression with he's got devil horns. Okay, shut up.
Okay.
That's the Squid Compact.
I like
devil horns.
I like your story better. This is another knife that's right side carry only, so you don't see any mounting hardware on this side for that reason. Tip up carry. So
this is a knife that would do well with a little lanyard hanging off the back end.
Also, right hand only. Come on, guys! Like, it's stainless steel. Just tap some shit.
That's
drill some holes.
I think in this particular case, more than any other case from CRKT, this really pisses me off.
Like they just
like
stop caring about every model. Like they're just like, nope, here you go.
Like I almost understand that. Like, okay, sure, if you're gonna do a lefty carry, which they did on the Shalala for some reason, and not that I'm complaining about it, it's just odd. Sure, you got to
chip
mill
down with the punch in case you wanted primary or offhand. They did it for tactically's reason.
For the tactically's.
The best Greek god ever, tactically's.
Yeah. Tactically's. You know, I've actually thought that this knife would be more comfortable for right-handed users if it was the pocket clip was installed on the left-hand side. That way you could also have this into the same ear pocket, a little bit safer. Anyway, that's aside. It's just bare stainless steel. There's no G10 you have to countersink. There's no steel liners you have to like carefully build and drill. It's like, no, you can do it straight into the handle of this thing.
Bam. Yeah, easy. And you can do it all the way through. I don't give a shit. Like, just keep on tapping.
I know this thing is spring assisted as well. But I don't think the interior pocket for the spring goes quite so far into the handle that it would interfere with a lefty pocket clip. So the whole thing is a little silly. But hey, it's a hollow ground version of the Squid, so that's kind of neat. Again,
is this the first one that's hollow ground?
The XM is hollow ground, and I think the first one was hollow ground too.
I believe the OG one is hollow ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a reference point,
Frost.
What's that?
So I'm just saying a quick shout out to CPM and Black Frost joining us in chat.
Nice.
Welcome aboard.
You could join us. We weren't here last week. Family emergency. We's be backs. Cheers and so on and so forth. Okay, so quick rundown on the Squid family here. 1.75 on the Squid Compact. 2.16. We're talking inches, blade inches. 2.16 on the OG Squid. Then we have the Squid Assist, which is 2.37. Then the Squid 2, which is 2.68 to 2.7. And then the Squid XM at a 2.95. I think that's all of them.
I fucking hate their naming conventions. I don't know whether this is Lucas Burley just fucking with us or it's CRKT dropping the ball repeatedly, but
yeah. So the Squid 2 is 4th in size.
Don't fucking worry about it, all right?
Don't you fucking worry about it.
Oh.
Okay, in their defense, the Squid 2 is like the closest thing to the OG Squid. The Squid XM and the Squid Compact, and I tried to get a size comparison picture of those two knives, but I had issues with that one. It file corrupty, blah 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 type of shit. Anyway, those two don't even look like the OG Squids. They've kind of departed, other than the handle butt end.
Yeah, I'm here. Just one last thing as far as the naming convention. The original was called the Squid. There was another version called the Squid stainless steel handle. Both of those versions have stainless steel handles, as does the Squid Assisted. And I'm pretty sure there was a Squid G10 at one point. I'm pretty sure that existed at some point. Maybe it was a limited run with different blade steel with the Blade HQ or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The Squid 2 has come out in like 3 or 4 variations now.
Well, that's also quite a bit more of a higher end version. But yeah. It's weird though. Like the XM feels like less of a departure from the rest of the Squid family than the Squid Compact does. For some reason. And I wish I could put my finger on why.
I don't know.
But it weirds me out.
For me, this guy falls into that, like, you don't like the Kershaw spoke, but you're looking for something in that same kind of size, price point category. You don't want to spend as much money on a chive. And, I mean, realistically, you can't get the black or the rainbow one anymore. So what's the point, right? So it's...
Yeah. Touche.
Kershaw needs to bring back the rainbow anno.
The black anno was pretty sweet too.
The
polished black anno was.
I do remember those.
Anyway, off track again.
All right, Squid Compact. We'll actually talk about that thing now. It's small. Is it too small to be comfortable in hand? What do you guys think?
It's got a big ass lanyard hole on it, so I mean, do it up. Put some battle cord lanyard on the end of it. Just fill that hand out. Why not?
I think we're gonna kill Paul.
It's going to be a monkey fist on the back. It's going to be like that tailbone, wasn't that? Oh no, that wasn't a Burnley. That was a Shores design. That was last week or 2
Put
weeks
one
ago.
of the full body zombies. Have you ever seen people make those
Full
with like
body
a
zombies.
zombie head bead? And they'll make like arms and legs.
Oh my god, no, that sounds hilariously stupid. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put
it
one
is.
of those.
Yeah.
You asking me to pull one up?
No, well, I mean, put one of those on there, I think is what he said. But yeah.
Oh, I see. Because like, I don't know, I might get some weird results for that. But...
So is this knife like, yeah, $32 is not that bad of a price point, but is this knife worth putting IKBS and spring assist? Can you just like put spring assist? Do you need IKBS with this little guy?
I actually
Can
kind
you
of
just
wish...
put spring assist in it and just be done with it?
Then they would have had to make sure that things were lined up right.
Hey.
Yeah.
that's it.
I'm a little sad. Okay. HCR makes sense if you want a very tough steel and you want it to be stainless and you don't particularly care about edge holding. But with a knife this small, with how stubby it is, I feel like you could run the risk of just making it in D2, charging an extra $10 or whatever, and actually have something that's going to hold an edge worth a damn. Because while I'm trying to not be a snob about the whole thing and just carry stuff that use HCR, and I like carrying stuff using HCR, but it requires fairly consistent touching up if you're using it as a work knife. Yes,
I have
this
a hard
knife
time
is...
carrying 154 sometimes. Good lord.
Really? That's brutal, dude. You're in it deep. Okay, this thing's a 2.8 ounce knife. That's not a lot of weight to carry around. But it's
2.8 on a 1.75 blade.
Yeah, but it's a dense little knife. How much does the Dragonfly weigh? And yeah, the Dragonfly is way more expensive. It's like 3 times the price, but...
The Zytel one is like half the weight. Like a third of the weight, something like that, yeah.
I would rather spend double the money, get a Dragonfly, whether on sale or not, even just the standard VG10 one. I think it would be a massive upgrade to this thing.
I see where you're going. Get a blade swap, put the Dragonfly onto this handle. Now
yeah.
Assisted Dragonfly? I'm in.
Oh, you know, Sal actually said he probably will never make an assisted model of any kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes me a little sad, but...
All right, so...
Ben's suggesting I wear it as a neck knife? That's one hell of a lanyard.
Yeah, that's awful. I'm sure I have some other photos here. What did they do right? Well, they put a deep carry pocket clip on it, but then they didn't put in countersunk screws. And I guess for the price, I can't complain that much, but I'm going to complain a little bit.
I will say there's enough standoff in that pocket clip that it slides into the pocket pretty easily.
It does, and this is the type of pocket clip where it narrows out over top of where the screws are located, so fabric doesn't really bunch up all that badly. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I tried it both on my like regular front pocket as well as my fifth pocket multiple times, and it was almost as good as the Bamboozled, but Bamboozled.
I won't put it in my pocket because, yeah, my right pocket's too good for that shit.
That's what he says, but
my left pocket will slump that low from time to time, but my right pocket definitely does not.
Yeah.
That is fair. Gotta have standards, you know.
And what standards they are! Holy.
Hey, look. I'm not making a judgment pass on that.
So for the record right now, Dragonfly's in my left pocket. So sometimes I set the bar a little higher. Yeah. So good things to talk about. And that pocket clip was raised up. But
does anybody think that this blade and handle finish as a full complete like color set to this knife is very like 2013? Is that weird to say?
It's given like a black wash. Yeah, I'm not saying it's played out. I'm saying we've seen it a million times. But this is the kind of thing where that sort of finish makes sense. This is going to get tossed around. It's going to be abused. It's cheap enough. Guys aren't going to care too much about it. Yeah, the blade makes the blade finish and the handle finish makes sense to me.
This is one too you could probably just drop into the pocket, take the pocket clip off, use it as a money clip. It's small enough.
So the spring on this thing, it's not terribly powerful, but it did. The knife is small enough that I found it uncomfortable to hold and hit the flipper tab at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, it's because of his greasy, oily fucking fingers. It's
that's not why it was greasy, oily in this picture. I'll tell you that much. That's just how it was out of box, which is good. But
has a little drippy.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
the Domino, the good money clip knife. Yes, also that.
So for $10 more, you can get a capsule.
Yeah, but you really know how to sell a squid, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
I'm
like,
just saying.
Sold, give me a squid.
I think, like, with a knife this small, you really suffer with the 8CR. You don't have enough blade to move along the edge as things start to dull out.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're going to go from sharp to dull so fast.
Fisk's favorite saying about a knife when you don't need a knife? Throw this in the pocket for that one-time cutty envelope, food, whatever it may be, string in the emergency situation that you need to.
Depending on what you're doing on a flight, this might be the perfect companion for you.
Yeah.
If you have a penchant for frame locks, I'll say, and you want one this size, this cheap, fine. Not the worst option. But it's kind of heavy for the size. It's dense. For me, a little bit awkward to manipulate and hold. Just felt like a little too little of a knife. But there's nothing in
a little of like the little native kind of vibe, where I always struggle with that little guy.
Yeah, that was another knife I
manipulate.
Yeah, manipulating that knife was maybe actually a little bit worse than this thing, but
for the record though, because I've been enjoying CRKT's descriptions here this week, they do quote as from the worksite to the campsite to the home, this take anywhere tool for all those times you thought, if I only had a knife on me.
Yeah, because this is what I want when I'm camping.
From the worksite.
I guess if you're car camping and the only thing you're doing with your knife is opening food packages, that would work.
But that saying of if I only had a knife on me is one of those times, because you're like, oh wait, I got this tiny little thing. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so they stuck that one in there on some like technicality of accuracy on that little saying there. Yeah,
I guess sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I can't argue it as a person that carries a honeybee on a regular basis. Not honeybee, excuse me, McBee.
Sure, but what's the steel on that McBee?
XHB.
Somebody's playing music real loud. I'm just going to close that window.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah. So and I think you had it right earlier, honestly, when you said that they lose out with the steel. And realistically speaking, had they gone with D2 for a knife this small, you might actually catch the casual knife user who, you know what? Yeah, I do need a knife from time to time. I don't feel like spending a ton of money. I think they would be more impressed with the D2 blade, something that's going to actually hold its edge for a reasonable period of time. If you, at worksite, how many worksites where a knife is routinely required that you might want a knife for have you been on where an 8CR blade has been anything more than barely adequate?
Well, you might be on one of those domestic international work sites.
Yeah, okay. So unless they're working on a plane,
yeah. with us.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I carried it.
Everyone shut up.
A knife like this in D2 is how you make a convert of somebody that's like, all knife steel's the same, who cares? To somebody that's like, you know what? this thing just holds its edge for friggin' ever compared to everything else I have. And because it's, like you were saying before about picking it up, because it's still in that cheap enough bracket that it's still worthwhile. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where somebody might not spend over $100 to get that D2 upgrade. You know, if it went from 34 to 44 bucks American, that's a steal.
Right. Steal. I get it. But like this is such a simple construction that I feel like they really did miss a mark in just not sticking with the D2 here. They absolutely should have.
Yeah.
So I also have to point out, because I'm on a roll, their descriptions this time, I'm going to pick it apart. They got a good one this time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, where is it? Despite being the smallest knife in the family, the Squid Compact is packed with advanced features. The assisted opening propels the blade opening with a flick of the thumb, and IKBS bearings ensure smooth opening and closing every time.
Why is it a big lighter all of a sudden?
Don't worry about it.
Why don't they care that it's got a flipper tab?
This was written before they put the flipper tab on it.
Apparently, you're supposed to open this this knife thumb stud opening.
I'm gonna be honest. I just thought they were talking about trying to flick it open from the flipper tab.
So yeah, that's like my initial. I was like the flick of the thumb. I'm like, this is supposed to be designed as a flipper.
So the original Squid only had a thumb stud. Was this language they copy pasted from that?
That'd be funny.
Well, he doesn't have an IKBS, so I mean, unless it's
You're right. They would have had to have modified it. So I don't know.
Already, yeah.
So
good times. Yeah, that one. I'm like, guys, you got caught up. They got caught up in their own hype, and they're like, "We are so good! Oh my god, check it out!"
So
they're not wrong. You can flick it open from the thumb stud.
You bet.
They just forgot to mention,
I'd like to show you guys something. So here's the Squid Compact, 1.75 inches of blade, 8 CR. Right. This is the Squid, which, by the way, you can also get in black. It's a 2.16 inch blade. The handle length has increased here. This is closer to a 3.5 inch or 3.5 finger grip for large hands. $32. Still 8CR. Still the stainless steel frame lock. And yes, it doesn't have the high functioning IKBS ball bearing systems or the assist. But I would argue you make up for that with a knife that is easier to manipulate and gives you better cutting performance potential for the same dollars. The same dollars on their website.
Yeah. They're competing against their own market. It's weird. There's not enough difference in those blades.
Yes.
In my opinion.
But with a flick of the thumb stud, the IKBS doesn't take over on this one. So
no, but
get the hell out.
But I can still flick this thing open on its Teflon washers or whatever the hell.
I was going to say, with a flick of the thumb, the Teflon washers hopefully get out of your way enough to open the knife.
CRKT does decent with Teflon.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. It's not my favorite washer material in the world, but it works. And for $32, I'm sure not going to bitch all that hard about it, but
that's what we get paid for, right?
So, yeah, something like that. Something, we're not going to go there.
No.
And if you're curious, again, I'm not done slagging the description. Yeah. On how the assisted opening works. Partway through the rotation, the blade opens at impressive speed for simple, powerful one-handed opening.
Sounds like they're describing something else.
Simple and powerful one-handed opening.
Yeah.
On a Squid Compact. Like the Squid XM doesn't even get that type of write-up. Like it's
they really
the smaller the knife, the more flowery the words.
the
I gotta sell it.
powerful one-handed opening on a sub 2-inch knife. Yeah, like who are you trying to sell this to?
Someone who's gonna feel like less of a man if their knife doesn't open up one-handed and powerfully. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they already couldn't call it the Squid XS. I mean, there's no way. No one would buy it. At least compact is a little more fuel efficient. Like it's
Boo! Fucking boo!
Gonna go jump in some leaves.
so on the note of fuel efficiency, because it's my last ramble on their description.
Okay.
But where is it? Neither brash nor flashy. It's the humble, light-duty truck of the knife world. Dependable, rock solid, and remarkably capable.
Are they trying to sell it like a Chevy S10 pickup? Like,
That's exactly what that sounds like. Hell yeah.
Yeah, simple, powerful, one-handed opening.
uh-huh.
But also
V8 under the hood.
The humble, light-duty truck of the knife world. The Overland Compact that we just reviewed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Inspired by
The person that wrote this up was writing all of them, accidentally left them all together, and CRKT just put them up for one knife accidentally.
They didn't have the titles on any of the descriptions, and
So
someone
they just
walked
guessed.
away, and like the cat jumped up, and all the papers got mixed up,
Yeah.
and everything gets to be a truck.
OG
So-
Red High Tops wants to know what's the F-150 of the knife world? Buck 110?
F-150? I don't know. That's a Ford Ranger. Whether it is an F-150.
Okay. SRK. I don't know.
Maybe that's the 112. It's a Ranger. That's a better joke. But yeah. I don't know.
Oh.
See, Justin's on my side. Purely from the sales numbers. Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I think that the Overland Compact and the Squid Compact should find out in an off-road competition which one's better.
Do we even need to have that competition? Or can we
Well,
just
throw
call
them
it
both
now?
down a mountain and see which one wins. So
Mini mog it up.
yeah, for sure, right? So
Okay, so if
give them both
the
swords and
Overland
make
is
them
the
chop
mini
each
log,
other's heads off. Like seriously.
what vehicle is this?
Well, what?
What
Okay.
vehicle would you decide that this is?
Okay, so this is going to lead me into
Okay.
my final thoughts because I
Perfect.
now have to score this knife, right?
Yep.
So if we're ready to score this knife, I can give you
Okay.
my final thoughts and feelings. If anyone else has bullshit they want to talk about, we'll save that conversation. I don't know if there is anything else we need to talk about for
No.
this guy.
I don't
Not
know.
really.
So
V6 S1 F-150. Not turboed. Yeah, exactly.
So, Joe, there's a company called Leyland, Leyland. And it's not the mini Mog, but they do have what they call a mini Moke.
MOKE?
Moke.
Oh,
So I'm grading this knife 1 mini Moke.
that's a cute little vehicle.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
It's like a
I
bug-
would,
it's like a buggy and a Jeep had a illegitimate child
yeah,
in like
Yeah.
post-war Europe.
It also looks like a car company that's already come out with 5 models of the same thing and they're struggling. Sorry.
this is almost a Homer mobile.
It's close.
Oh.
It's close.
Oh
But
man,
anyway.
you can get little canopies for it. Oh no.
Joe's
Totally.
buying a 1981 mini Moke.
Yeah,
Oh god, in piss yellow. I might just do it.
there you go.
That's sunflower. Okay.
Eh.
He said what he said.
Maybe cornflower.
Oh, I'll go with cornflower for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul?
Anyway.
Any final thoughts? Any way to
So-
rate this thing?
So before I saw this, and I will say this is a better fit, but before I saw this, I was going to give it one Volkswagen Beetle, but like the Baja edition
With the
for racing the
the
racing in
big
the desert.
flared
Yeah.
mufflers coming off the back.
Yeah. If you Google that, I'm pretty sure it'll come up.
What in the Florida Karen electric riding shopping cart is that?
That's exactly what it is. Good job.
Yeah. First of all,
I want it for that reason.
my name's not Karen.
Might have to
Give
be
me-
now.
And give me, I want
So, yeah. Specifically, that white one with the blue and the red and yellow stripe. I like that one. That one's pure
that-
80s.
That does seem like something you would drive. Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, but this isn't the Squid Compact. Like, this might be.
No, but this was my
Squid.
first thought.
Mm.
It's
see.
definitely more that fucking monstrosity that you said, but
Aw,
this has got a similar vibe.
It's a mini moke. It's the year of the trucks.
The old mini mook.
I hate it.
That's racist, sir.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's- And Joe, anything?
Oh, I was going more.
I think too hard on this shit. I'm just saying. It's
Yeah, I didn't think hard enough. I was thinking maybe something related to, like, its namesake, a squid. If anything, this is like the beak of the squid. It's barely what's necessary to get the job done, but fuck, you'll wish you'll had more. I can't help but compare this to all the other squids in the lineup. This is the Squid Compact. You should just get a full-size squid. It's not even a half-inch longer. You will be happy to have that extra little bit to hang on to, and it'll be that much better of a knife. Not even going there, Paul. Not even going there. I think this is a combination of half measures and compromises. Will it cut as well as a blade? Any other blade of HCR will cut in that size? Sure.
And for the record, the full size squid, to Joe's defense, because I don't know if I agree with that statement, but I mean it's his own statement. He can say whatever he wants. The full size squid is also sub 6 centimeters
There
as
you
well.
go.
5.4, so 5.5. You're pushing your luck, but yes.
It's technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Yeah.
Whereas the Squid 2, now you get into 6.7, 6.8 centimeters. So, yeah. Anyway.
It's not the size; it's how you cut stuff.
Sure. Final thoughts on the Bamboozled?
I sure am. Bamboozled, that is.
I bamboozled again.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I really
No,
like.
that's gonna be the smaller one. Or the XM one.
If they actually come up with a knife called the Bamboozled again, I might buy the pair just for the fucking memes. Yeah, final thoughts. This is a well executed knife, well designed knife.
Clean lines, pretty looks.
I don't know if I necessarily say I'd like it more than a lot of the other stuff CRKT's come out with this year, but it's not a bad choice by any measure.
Yeah.
Well, quick side of the group chat. Chris is asking, does Zero Tolerance have a snow knife? Yeah, and the 0022 Lemmy's got a hammer on the nose. There's a bunch of models of the 0022, including carbon fiber, copper.
I was gonna say, and they're all equally awful.
There's an all TI version that's bronzed now as well.
Yeah.
So
Stand by this.
take your choice of overpriced tiny knives. I mean, I don't. I mean that. Yeah, they're so overpriced for that little tiny. son of a bitch.
Overpriced tiny knives that you can't get. a
Although
good
you can get
grip
the
on
Stars
top
and
of.
Stripes one. Oh, I changed my mind. Take it back. Give me that one.
Stars and Stripes.
I don't know. I saw some picture
This guy right here.
that as you were scrolling of a Stars and Stripes 0022.
Oh, that may have been a mod.
Well, of course it is.
Zero tolerance. Plain. Oh, this is probably an Alibaba special.
Oof.
It might be just a custom anno job. If so, they're not charging enough money for it.
It's on the TI side, so
Look,
That's a
they
little.
got the knife at a discount.
I was gonna say, look, this isn't quite as gaudy as a lot of the like American flag memorabilia I've seen, but oh, they actually but they did it to the pivot collar too. Oh, that makes it so much better. That's actually really cool.
There you go.
Wow. Wait, hold on. Are we sure that's an anno? That's a weird pock mark. That looks like an
It almost looks like a wrap.
You're a weird pockmark. All right.
Like a hydro dip.
Yeah, hydro dip. Thank you. That's kind of what that reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
On the back, it looks pure anno, to be honest with you. The way that the color transitions, even from.
Yeah. See, now if you could get this for $32 or $100 or whatever, okay. But what does this thing regularly go for?
Too much. Sure, too much. Anyway, sidetracked. Bamboozled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for me, but a very easy recommend. Very, very easy to recommend.
It's true. It's true. And on the tradition of ridiculous scoring, because Kenny is from Mooresville, North Carolina, I'm going to have to correct him and say, I'm sorry, that's the Moops. That's the Moopsville, North Carolina. Don't shake your head at me a third time tonight.
Yeah, too bad.
I like that you've been counting.
Fucking Moops. I got the Moops over here.
Case of the Moops.
I don't have anything for a clever bamboozling.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the name has to do with the design of the knife at all. Like, I know that's normally not something that comes up, but in this case in particular,
it's the most bamboozling part of the knife.
It's actually, there is no Ken Onion Jr., and it's a wink to Ken Onion Senior that he bamboozled CRKT. It's called the Bamboozled because it's a little
he
nod
maxed
to
out he maxed out the design contract with them for the year, so he invented a son. It's like, oh, exactly. Well, we'll sell you my son's design instead. Yeah. Oh, new headcanon. Kenny Onion does not exist.
We called it the Bamboozled. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Let's start that rumor.
This is a weird conspiracy theory that I'm here for. That is awesome.
Have you seen Ken Onion Jr.? I'm pretty sure it's just Alan Elschwitz's son.
Do we have a Bamboozled here?
Start that rumor too. Why not?
Well, we got a picture here. Now we'll just find out that this is just an old picture of the Ken Onion we knew. Yeah, that's a really weird conspiracy theory. I'm into it.
Sure. It explains the name. It's the only thing that does.
Yeah. They really don't talk about why it's called that Bamboozled at all.
Dick Richards does make a good point that yes, Ken Onion is from Hawaii, but clearly his son no longer lives there, if he exists.
if he's real. If that is a real person. Yeah.
Oh, they needed enough of a backstory.
It's a vacation home.
That's
right. He leaves Hawaii to go on vacation. North Carolina.
He just wants to go sit in the middle of a field somewhere. That's all.
Hang out with a bunch of moops, I tell you.
Sit in the field, get eaten by a crocodile. Whatever. Or alligator. Geez. Probably alligator.
First one, then the
weird
other.
If he got eaten by a crocodile.
That's fair.
Okay. I guess that's it for the reviews for tonight.
I think that's about sums it up. Yeah.
I'd say.
One excellent showing and one other thing.
And then a second night.
and that other thing. It's just they've just flogging horses. They're not dead yet because they still.
Is it not?
No, they're still selling.
Look, is this their bug out?
Yeah. Well, CEO is kind of their bug out too.
Yeah,
So-
but the CEO at least has the following for it.
Squid
the
puts
Squid
up
have-
numbers, man. Squid puts up numbers.
The XM does sell. I'll give you that. But I don't know. I think I sell more CEOs.
It's no Razor Cliff for whatever reason
was-
Joe's bringing up.
Just bringing up the Razor Cliff. I just wanted to look at the price.
Does it have
40 bucks.
a description referring to trucks for some reason? Or
Maybe. I could look through. Nope, this is a really short description. Nope.
no, nothing?
No, the write-up here actually talks about the knife. What the fuck?
Bullshit.
Oh,
Who do these people think they are?
How dare he?
goddamn. Still not for lefties for whatever reason, but
Well, you know the reason.
CRKT knows the reason.
right.
They sure
This thing wasn't assisted. It was just the ball bearings. So they could do it on this knife. Why couldn't they do it on? Come on.
Yeah, come on. All right. I think that sums us up. Anyone got some BS topics? I'm dry, dude.
I got a thing I can talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
If we need to pad some minutes.
Eh,
It's not even like a thing we got to go to. It's just a question for you fellow individuals.
Oh.
Indeed.
Ben, hang on. Ben's asking a quick, which one? Tuna Compact, Squid Compact, Overland Compact. Which one go?
Overland. Me too.
Yeah. me
Yeah,
too.
if you're looking for edge retention, that's the one I'd go with.
Yeah.
You want
Uh,
toughness, go with the tuna.
Tuna is a close second because of the action and the ergos,
it's good.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are Sebenza still worth it? That's a question only you can answer.
I bought one.
Infinite
but
says
that
Sabenzas
was-
were never worth it. Oh,
That's why I said
I'm just fighting words.
I got one before the crazy price jump, but it was still a bit of a price jump compared to what they should be. So
true facts.
it's
An old-
nice. It's nice. That's why I got one.
They are still nice. But
Everyone that comes through are pretty nice that you play with.
Worth it? You gotta have an appreciation for machining tolerances, because if you don't, and if it's just about getting a functional tool, you better spend your money on something else.
There's so many other things. I mean, like even at a third of the price, the old guards that come through,
yeah.
390 titanium frame lock, made by Best Tech. Did
Yeah.
you guys? Speaking of random notes, did you guys hear about budgety Monterey Bay?
oh really?
From
From Monterey Bay or from like through Best Tech?
No, through Monterey Bay, still made by Best Tech, but D2 $60 American G10 D2
really?
old guards.
Huh.
Liner lock?
I don't know. Don't come at me with that bullshit.
I'm coming.
I still want to say that.
I'm Kuman.
You heard me.
I want to slay back.
Through the walls, dude. Through the walls.
Oh, dude. Absolutely. I'm not seeing shit about fuck on their
No,
website.
it was a sneaky peek. Here.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, if it's a liner lock, I'm in. If it's budgety, liner lock D2 G10, I'm in. I've actually personally been really interested in their ZDP stuff, but
Anyway, Paul, what's your bullshit while I'm trying to find this?
I want to slay back. My bullshitty thing is, so I have borrowed Joe's precision sharpen system. Whatever. Work sharp precision sharpener. You know that thing?
That thing.
I hope none of those cops made it through. That was horrible.
I do this when I'll cut myself. Yes, this thing.
Yes. So what's your question?
My question is, when I first picked it up from you, my first thought was, okay, how will I get the best edge? Is a seesawing motion going to give me the best edge? Push in, pull away from the edge? Like, is there something that's demonstrably better? So they did their own video where they tested that theory.
Oh, right. Was that the one where they were trying to determine whether moving the diamond abrasive away from the edge or toward the edge provided a better finish
away
product?
From, into, back and forth, or sweeping side to side?
Okay.
I mean, I've tried all those techniques myself. It's
yeah, and that's the thing. Apparently, from their testing, and it's small batch testing, so take it with a grain of salt. But the pushing into the edge got them a what's that test with the cord? The little like that thing.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, but I know the test you're talking about. It tests the amount of force required to break the thread that's set, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
pushing
theoretically,
into the edge.
Yeah.
Got a score of 104.
Okay. Question though, when they were sharpening, did they go all the way from diamond to ceramic to strop, or did they? What point did they stop?
They tested it at each level, and they did coarse diamond, fine diamond, ceramic, and then they did a follow-up video where they went back and stropped them, and that's when they got that 104. Pulling away actually left quite a lot of burr, and that was it. Originally scored like a 290 something, and then came back with a like low 100 score as well, but not quite 104. Like it was like, I want to say like 120, 130, somewhere in there, but was almost 300 before that without a strop.
Stropping really helps. Any kind of burr removal you can do is beneficial.
So I have been using the sharpener just by pushing into on the stones. And it's the one thing that they do say is that it's a much slower process than going in both directions. And I don't know if it's worth it. I might try with my next knife to start on the coarse diamonds and do back and forth, and then the other steps after that go to just a pushing motion. Right. So most of the work is done fairly quickly.
Honestly, I found as long as you're using a little bit of water, pushing and pulling goes pretty quick. It keeps the steel powder from binding up in the stone itself.
It does feel sharp so far, and that's only at a 600 grit, so right at the moment.
Yeah, I've also not done the ceramic and actually skip over it entirely and then just buffed. Or use the strop here.
Yeah.
And honestly, in certain cases, I actually prefer that edge to the edge that the ceramic gives you.
Yeah. Nice toothy edge.
I'm not sure that going side to side is ideal with really coarse grits. Just thinking about scratch patterns running parallel to the edge as opposed to perpendicular.
So in that specific test, because that's only testing how acute your edge is.
Yeah.
It scored fairly well. But I imagine that if you're actually cutting different media, because you're putting the scratch patterns along the edge rather than giving you like micro serration tooth at the edge,
it won't bite.
It's not going to have the bite. Yeah. Because I have sharpened things that way. And like where it might be okay in maybe a kitchen knife or something like that, where you're doing more push cut than anything else.
You're more relying on the geometry of the blade rather than the absolute apex kind of thing.
Yeah, having a little bit of tooth in my everyday carry knife is definitely something I tend to prefer.
What about you, Dennis? Have you ever done that kind of sweepy side-to-side kind of sharpening?
Only in profiling, like never finished edge. I try to go with any sort of up and down pattern as much as I possibly can type of thing, right? So yeah. And I don't know if I'm necessarily paying attention to up sweeps versus down sweeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if anything, what's that?
So I bet you that would matter.
Yeah, for sure. I think I go back and forth on almost everything I do. So not just a back and forth pattern.
I will say, with the precision, like the setup of having your knife clamped, getting a nice true like 90-degree stroke to the edge is fairly easy until you get into the belly of the knife, and then you're getting a little bit of change in angle compared to the edge.
It's almost impossible to be stationary. Like you have to do some sort of slow sweep. But, yeah, exactly.
But I think this thing's going to be sharp as hell when I'm done. And I only took it from 20 degrees to 19.
And that's the thing. Just bear in mind too that those are reference points on the side of the machine.
Yeah, no. I got actually on my phone got a angle finder and then put it on top and then dialed it until I got the angle I wanted.
Nice. Yeah, that's
and
the way to do it.
It's close to the 19 on the machine, but not dead on it.
Cool. That's good to know. Which knife, out of curiosity?
It is a kind of gunny, kind of looking.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those kicking around somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had really, really small bevels before. It seemed to get really thick behind the edge very quickly, but was still sharpened at a 20-degree angle. So I only wanted to thin it out a little bit just to give it a little bit more bite, because it is still an outdoor knife.
That's actually what I had to do with my my crossbones here, because it was very tiny bevels when I started.
Yeah. Mine's up there on like a 9 to 12 degree angle.
But yours is M390?
Yeah, on a Skinner. It's that same blade shape, but that's my dedicated Skinner, and it's stainless and goes all day. Yeah.
This one's 3V. I don't know if 12-degree angle and 3V is the right choice. It might not be the wrong choice. I don't know. I mean,
we Scandian Pucos and they seem to be okay. So
that's fair.
That's
good
true.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, that's it's been kind of fun playing around with that. I like I said, I suspect that going forward I will spend more time going back and forth and then cleaning up with a single direction.
I found that it excels at resetting bevels because it is consistently held once you do set it. So freehand sharpening after the fact, when it's just maintenance, it's actually a lot easier, because this just make sure they have one bevel to work with and you're not accidentally canting your stone if you're doing like little strokes kind of deal.
No. That is definitely something you got to be mindful of. They're fairly narrow stones, so they can rock back and forth a little bit.
Yeah. Take your time with it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that, Joe, while we were chatting, but I was able to shoot you a shot of the Monterey Bay.
I did. I'll pop that up right now.
Dive back to that in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm passing the yawns around.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Paul. Nice, Paul.
You're welcome.
There you go. Bam. Black G10, JG10, definitely liner locks. They're thick liner locks. He turns it over in the video, and yes, this is the video and when he rolls it over in his hands, the liner's got some chunk to it. It's nice.
I like a good chunky liner.
Yeah. And a little more clippy, a little more almost like that Manly Patriot. The longer lockbacky Manly knife. It has that bit of a vibe to that, right? So, yeah.
I do like that long style flip.
And wire clip ready only. Screw you. But it's wire this time, not milled. But
this is also a prototype, so if and when this gets to production, they might go for a lefty profile, given that it's budget.
Shut up, Joe.
Don't get your hopes up.
They won't do that. You're just saying those things. Trying to soften my rage.
Chat is saying, I won on this live 162 weeks ago. Finn Wolf, still carrying it.
Nice. Here. You certainly did, Beaver Bear. We remember that giveaway. That was a good time.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That Finn Wolf is still a mean little knife for sure.
Yeah, that was out of my personal collection, actually. So, yeah. Good job. So, yeah. think that's about it. I think that's all we got.
So,
I
Good
think
times.
so. Yeah.
Good times. So, thanks for everyone who joined us here this week. Sorry about last week. I'm just going to give the shout out live this week that, we're probably not going to be live next week. I have also, again, family stuff going on. So probably not going to be live on the 2nd, but we'll be back for probably the 2nd and 3rd week of April. Not sure about the last week of April as well, but we'll see. Take it back here. Yeah. Probably not. Probably not. A couple weeks in April. So
yeah.
But yeah, having said that, thanks to the Cutting Edge Cutlery Co. for lending us these knives to play with, unboxing, first impressions, all that good times, taking some photos and letting people know what we think.
Yes. Thank you.
Good input, Joe. Good input.
Paul,
say some social media bullshit.
Yeah, as you may or may not have noticed, I actually posted last week.
Whoa.
I'll never do it again. I apologize.
Are you kidding me? I'm finding an appropriate picture for a mini moke. We've got a thing now.
All right. You got to find it in the right color.
Black on black, gray.
There you go.
No way. I'm finding the rainbow Skittle one.
There you go.
For sure, yeah.
Indeed. But yeah, actually posted. It happened. Most of the comments on the photo were, "Oh my god, I can't believe you posted." And me neither.
And also, I will say, TJ did comment that we may or may not have been onto him about his design language of a mini mog.
That's funny.
He did it, in fact.
Yeah. So TJ, secret safe with us and our viewers and anyone else who chooses to watch this.
Yeah. Ben's under the impression that I've lost the password to the Pokey Factor.
That's probably not.
I should have just used that line the entire time. That would have been fucking great.
Should have been. It would have been an amazing excuse.
Then I could have started posting again, but pretend it was the scammer that stole the account.
It was bots. Yeah, for sure.
Start trying to hawk Damascus Pakistani knives.
No. Selling Bitcoin. Come on, man. Bitcoin. Let's do this proper.
I
watched the documentary. I'm all about it.
Get us out of here.
Thanks to everyone on Patreon. Speaking of digital currency, continue to subscribe and support us. All the money you do donate to us is going to become real things and physical things, just like digital currency can
just
give
like
you the empty promises for. Yeah, just like digital currency has empty promises. So do we.
Just like the digital currency. Just like the digital currency, eventually the memes become real, and then it becomes too real.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas 2023.
You'll get that giant spike and then that big crash afterwards.
That sounds about right.
Oh, that's just our speed, isn't it? Yeah.
It really is.
Wow. It's like a sugar crash, I tell you.
I'm feeling it.
On that note, guys, thanks for joining us this week. We will see you again all here in a couple weeks. Have a great night, guys. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm XL.ca.
Thanks again for sticking it out with us, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Best thing I've heard this year is please love one another always, because sadly, even 88 years is not long enough for the ones who love you.
Yeah. Fair.